My eyes, it burns, it burns. It's like that moment when you've been talking to yourself for so long and you suddenly realize that you weren't even being recorded. Oh, I'm talking to myself anyway. So, I mean, I'm talking, you're going to see this, but right now that I'm recording, it's like I'm talking to myself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so, yeah. I'm so excited. I have a few things to share, but I also want to say thank you so much to those who have donated. And I didn't say this before. It's been a while actually, but I had quit the job that I had. And there's a lot to that. I mean, it's been a time of testing and trials. I mean, who doesn't have that? But with a lot of things, and I'm just really thankful to Abba for it. I mean, we're supposed to rejoice in all situations, and sometimes it's really hard to do that, but more opportunities to trust, to learn to trust. And yeah, so hello world, by the way. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, I'm very, very excited about what I'm going to share. So yes, what I was going to say, or I've already said, thank you to those who've given, and if you want to donate, if you're perhaps new to my channel and you've been blessed, you can donate by pressing the blue P button on the right hand corner of my channel. And yes, and prayer is of course most important. So thank you for that. Thank you to all those who have blessed me. Yeah. So I recently went to a really awesome horse show. Yes, it was very inspiring. It's horses are amazing. They really are. I mean, I've said that before, but just the spiritual part of it, and in the same way that there's always more to learn. There's a lot to learn with the horses. It's like it's the same thing with our relationship with God. I mean, there's always more to learn, and it's just so fascinating, so beautiful. All the different things there are to learn about the kingdom of heaven, and to learn about God, and His love for us. It's wow. It is so tremendous. Just how He loves us no matter what. And I recently went to a study. I was studying on the book of Y-shua in Hebrew, and it's been really awesome, really great. Been really blessed by it, learning a lot, which is actually what I wanted to share. I'm not going to do, usually I share with you something from the Torah portion, and it's in my heart just to share with you this time. Perhaps later on in the week I can share it from the Torah portion, but to share what I have been learning, what I've been learning. Something that happened earlier this week, I believe, or last week. I got my days, everything mixed up. Too young for that. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a sign of not being too concerned about days and times, which that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna try to find this here. So I was reading this one morning. This morning I just really had it in my heart to go to a coffee shop that I haven't been to in, wow, I don't know, forever, because I don't even really like their coffee. But it's one of those things where you need a mental break, you know, and even if it's not really the best coffee, you go there because it's a place to go, you know, one of those things. So this one morning, it was in my heart to go to this particular coffee shop and to sit down with my Bible and my Hebrew. I also have my Hebrew book with me, and I just opened my Bible, and I opened it to the very end of First Chronicles. So if you have your Bible and you want to look at this with me, as I'm looking for it, I'm sure you'll probably get to it before I will, so you will see this. Okay. I believe that's right. End of the Chronicles? Second Chronicles. yeah, okay, so at the very end of the book of First Chronicles, it says, this is so cool, this is so interesting. Okay, so it says, verse 29, so the very last chapter of First Chronicles, it says, now the acts of King David, first and last, indeed, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, in the book of Nathan the prophet, in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the events that happened to him, to Israel, and to all the kingdoms of the lands. And when I say God, I'm G-A-D. I guess in English we'd say Gad, but in Hebrew, and actually Nathan be Natan, Samuel be Shmuel, but you know what I'm saying. Those who speak English. And that, well, this is actually interesting too. This is not what I was going to mention, but there's a different word for one who sees and prophet. Those are two different words there in Hebrew. And they've also done that, yes. So what's amazing about this, okay, is that it says that that the acts of King David are written in the book of Samuel and the book of Nathan and Gad. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I was like, in the book of Nathan, I was like, wait a minute. Where in the Bible are these books? So I did a little research. And I learned of something I didn't know. And so perhaps many of you watching already knew this, but for those of you, if any of you don't know, that there are these other books, and they were in fact discovered. I got to read the book of Gad, at least, or God, the translation I found. They were discovered in the cave of Qumran, you know, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, from the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it was just amazing, because as I was reading this translation that was made by a team of people of the book of Gad, I was so blessed, so intensely blessed by what he wrote. And I was like, wow, this isn't in the Bible, and it should be. I mean, this is just amazing, truly a blessed gift. And I know that there's a reason why books and things were found. The Dead Sea Scrolls, they're amazing resources to study. And yeah, so the book of Gad, now the book of Nathan, I haven't looked for that yet, but I'm just excited. I mean, there's enough books already to study that with what we have, but something I didn't know, and I wanted to share that with you. And I'll leave that to you to study and to look at that yourself and be blessed by the book of Gad. So the other thing was, when I went to this study of the book of Joshua, was that one of the things that came up was yeah. Okay, I'm just so excited. One of the things that came up was that when God created the earth, it says he created the trees and the plants and the animals, and he created Adam, and then from Adam there was Eve. So he did not create Adam as a baby. He created him as a full man. The trees were full-grown trees. The plants were grown plants. And when this came up in the study, I was just like, wow, because like Adam, he was like, what? How old was he? Well, it is understood that he was about around 30 years old. So then I thought, there's this issue with science. Of course, people talk about, well, and I don't, there's the one side that says the Earth is millions and millions of years old, and then there's, of course, those of us who believe, no, it's actually just, maybe 6,000-7,000 years old. So, anyways, and I fall into that category. So, creationism, yes. But here's the other thing, though. There's always mysteries. I mean, there's such beautiful mysteries in the creation of the universe, and the thing is that I realized from this topic was the fact that when we are dating things from times past, well, the earth, when it was created as something already, it was new, but like aged, because when you think about it, so the trees were full-grown trees, the plants were full-grown plants. Adam was not a baby, he was a full-grown man. So, you know, God, he knows the time. But the fascinating thing is that when it comes to dating things and the study of dating and science of things, you know, there is this realization I have now that there were things already like aged, you know? You see what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, wow, that's so cool. So, okay, let me take this farther yet. And that is to say that this came to my mind as well. So if Adam was already around 30 years old, when he sinned, when he fell into temptation and sinned against God, Adam and Eve, his age, we don't know how long it was between the creation and when he sinned. You know, we have perhaps some ideas, but Y-shua, when Y-shua the Messiah offered himself as an atoning sacrifice for us, it is understood that he was in his early 30s. What would be the likelihood that when Adam sinned, that it was the same age as Y-shua the Messiah when he gave his life for us? And I say that because since the beginning of mankind, since the fall of mankind into sin, Y-shua had a plan that he would offer up himself for human beings, for us. And then we have that choice to accept it, or to accept him, or to reject him, to reject this gift. But, you know, I don't know if he was the same age, but just the thought of how, I mean, it's just too perfect. Nothing happens by coincidence. It's just too perfect. And could in fact be the same age as Adam was when he sinned, which is like, you know, life for life. It makes sense, you know. It would make sense that for the Son of God, Adam, that this would have been planned in the timing and, you know, the age, everything. So I just had to share that with you. I love you all so much. I know the time is long, so if you have watched this, listened to this far, thank you. Blessings, many blessings. And I hope I have encouraged you to do some more studying on your own. I know I'm going to be doing that myself. I'm excited. Yes. Shalom, shalom. Bendición.